Before you start, we have a little game we want to play with all of you. So this is how you know if you're on the high-flying disc. My financial success does not require hard work. There is no shortage of money or time. The better my story gets, the better my life gets. So if you were feeling like you're feeling now, and you just wanted to milk it, it might be helpful for you to read The Law of Attraction Responds to My Vibration. You want the law of attraction to respond to your vibration when you're feeling like this, don't you? I can set my own standards for financial well-being. You can tell this is the money card deck. The physical me is materialized spirit. Doesn't that just feel good? Don't these words feel good to you? I will focus on positive aspects. I can make a career of living happily ever after. I can make a career of living happily ever after. So that's what to do when you know you're on the high-flying disc. In other words, milk it, affirm it, find as many ways to say it as you can, say it to as many others as you can. So what if, we're sort of following through on something that we were just doing before, what if you're on a high-flying disc and you're affirming, and you affirm to someone who's not on a high-flying disc? What happens? Sometimes they feel challenged. So sometimes they will begin explaining to you why what you think isn't accurate. But if you're consistently on the high-flying disc, is the universe going to line you up with that person? And even if they did somehow stumble into your experience because they're not solidly there, and they began to say something to you, wouldn't you be able to feel it early on? And wouldn't you know what to do about it? So do you agree that it is not a difficult thing once you're on the high-flying disc to sustain it? And do you think that the second and third and fourth and fifth and 30th and 50th and 60th and 100th and 300th and second year and third year and fourth year and fifth year will be easier than the beginning? Can you feel the momentum in all of that? Can you feel how well along the road you are already? So if you are convinced, we can feel it from you, that staying on the high-flying disc becomes easier and easier, then is the only thing that you might be concerned about being how to get on the high-flying disc. And do you believe us when we tell you you're on it every morning when you first awaken? Yes. We really want to remove from your vocabulary any excuse that you've ever been keeping active for not being on the high-flying disc, because you really are on it every morning until you drag yesterday into today and introduce the resistance from yesterday into today. So we just want to say to you that 30 days and then 60 days and then 90 days of sustaining a sort of momentum will revolutionize your experience, your financial experience, your physical experience, your relationship experience with all people, places, and things. In other words, this is the material that makes up what you call paradigm shifts. This is the sort of thing that makes others who are watching from the outside think that you've had quantum leaps, when really all that's happening is just the next logical step, the next logical step, the next logical step. We just want you to know that it isn't hard and it doesn't take a lot of time, and that today has been a really good beginning place of this understanding. And so we're doing the best sales job that we can in wanting to encourage you to take what you are feeling from this gathering and then apply it to the first 17 seconds of tomorrow, and then watch what happens as you are literally off and running on an entirely new point of attraction. A point of attraction that will allow you to rendezvous with each and every lovely detail that you've been putting into your vortex all of this life experience and beyond.
2 questions.
Yeah.
On 2 different levels. I'm going to go with the personal one first. Someone in my life thought was my perfect loving partner has exited. He needs time to see what he wants And that's okay. I respect that, and that's all right. But there's that missing of the physical.
Yeah.
And I know how to get to that disc. I've been there many times, and I'm there most of the time. And I know what to do to get there. Turn on good music, have the affirmations, whatever it is to get to that level of knowing who I am. And I know that. And I can get there so often, but then I get in bed at night and the body's not there. It's that physical that I miss. How do you get past the missing of that physical? And I know that the law of attraction will either bring us back together or there'll be another physical. I know that because that's what I'm asking for. But it's in that void of time.
Well, you see, here's the thing, and we so love having this conversation with you right now. You cannot control whether that person comes and gets into that bed with you or not right now. You don't have the power to control that.
Right.
And you might not even have the power to not feel sad when you get into that bed. Esther still has moments where she'll open a drawer and it will shock her a little bit.
Right.
Even though Jerry has made his transition nearly 2 years ago, still that missing comes up. But what you do have control about is what you say right now. In other words, here you are, you're talking to infinite intelligence. We've been talking about finding the high-flying disc, and you choose a topic that makes you cry as your subject.
Yes.
And we say, you had a choice to do that. And we know, under the guise of looking for material, under the guise of looking for facts, under the guise of looking for answers to questions. In other words, there are all kinds of reasons that you give yourself the excuse to do something, but the bottom line is this conversation feels bad every time you get on it. You're not ever going to say, I miss him in my bed. That's just looking for trouble. Those words, I miss him in my bed.
I miss him in my life.
Well, just go stand by the bed and look where he used to be. Go stand by the bed and look where he used to be. He used to be here. His head used to be here, and he used to lay like this. And he used to be right here. He used to be right here in this place where he isn't. He used to be right here in this place where he isn't.
So sleep on the couch.
You can make them cry, and they don't even know him or like him. They don't even. Sorry. And so you don't have to do that to yourself. You do not have to do that to yourself. That's the epiphany that came to Esther. In other words, there are a lot of things you can't control, but you can control how you feel now because you can control what you think now.
Well, that's the clue.
And you just get better at it and better at it. And so you said some things that felt good and you said some things that felt bad. And now you're listening to us, you feel entirely better.
Yes, I do.
So just don't do that anymore. Just don't go there. I'm not going to go to that place that feels bad. I'm just not going to go there. Why would I sacrifice my high-flying disc when there is a plethora that I could be focused upon? Why am I focusing on the thing that for sure is going to take me from my high-flying disc?
And I know this.
What am I reaching for? Am I reaching for sympathy from others? You want to rendezvous on the sympathy disc? That's a party.
I've been there before. It's not that good.
You want to rendezvous on the this is what he did to me disc? That's a party. In other words, you get to choose. You get to choose. You get to choose
and I know
every
this.
single time.
I know this.
We know you know, but you didn't know for a minute, and we had to tell you because we know. And now nothing's changed. He's still gone. Don't cry. He's still gone. He's still gone. Nothing's changed. But look at the difference in the way you feel. This is your now. A minute ago, you're now sucked. But this is your now. This is your now. And it's nice to have someone like us who will playfully cajole you back into alignment. But you see, somebody that is in alignment can cajole you for a little while, but you get really old news really fast if you need constant cajoling, because if you've got a friend up here and you're not there and they're pulling you up and pulling you up and pulling you up and pulling you up and you're not going, pretty soon they join you on the sympathy disc.
Right.
And then you see. So
I want to go there.
Things are always working out for you. And sometimes life turns in a way that doesn't feel like it's working out for you, but it always is working out for you. You just have to decide how much you're willing to stand in the shadow while it's working out for you, because you can step out into the bright light anytime that you choose to. You have the power to do that. You know enough to do that.
I know that.
You just don't have any excuses to feel bad. There is no complaint justified enough to take you from your high-flying disc. You know too much. We should have put it on the disclaimer that you signed before you came in here. You can't go back, and now you know too much. In other words, now you know. You control your mood by the attention that you give to subjects. And so the game that Esther's been playing, and it's been so effective for her, once she remembered this 17-second thing, because she was finding herself feeling good, as you often do, and then slipping from it because something would remind her of something, and she would start feeling sorry for herself or feeling lonely, and she just started going 17, 16, 15, 14, and every time before she got to 1, she'd forgotten what it was that she was upset about.
I'll use it. I'll use it.
For a while, she chewed on her arm. In other words, just don't vent it, because when you vent it, you never let it out. People say, oh, that's really good that you vented that. No, it wasn't. You vented it is the same thing as you practiced the momentum of it.
Right, right.
When you're venting, you're going down the trail that you don't like. Yeah. Venting sucks. Don't vent. Don't vent. There's no reason to vent. Venting and affirming are the same thing.
Right.
But when you're venting, you're affirming what you don't want.
I'm just wondering, is there like a limit to it because we're physical? Is there a time where we can like change water into wine?
Yeah.
Is that coming? Is it in this lifetime? Will it take 100 years? Do we need the 1%? There's all that stuff out there.
Your series of questions, and when you listen back to them, we really want you to, all of you, as you listen back, if you listen back. So the statement started out all pure and fresh, and then all the statements that you made behind it complicated it and added resistance to it.
Yeah.
In other words, when we say all things are possible, and you think about possibilities, and you think about the energy that creates worlds, or even as you think about how far it has all come, then that all feels life-giving, doesn't it? But then when you add those other things to it, those sort of questions to which you don't have specific answers, it just kind of messes it all up.
I agree.
And so there are those who think, oh yeah, well, Abraham's got the easy answer. All things are possible. Well, all things are possible. All things wanted and unwanted are possible. But there's this really, 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 really important thing that we have highlighted today and amplified to some degree, that we want to amplify far, 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 far more than we've ever done before. And that is the power. Let's use a different word. It means the same thing. The momentum of the source energy vortex. The momentum of the energy that is resistant free. The momentum of the energy that is resistant free is dominant in all of the universe. And that's why well-being will always prevail.
Excellent.
So you can come, you can pinch yourself off a little bit and squirm around and have a miserable time and even write a book about it if you want to. And plenty of other people on that disc will buy that book and squirm around with you. But there'll never be enough of you squirming around in that discomfort to be bigger than a small flea on the back of a big dog in terms of your influence on the well-being of this planet and all that is. The well-being is enormous. And you have a choice of getting out there in that surf and practicing the feel of that wave and taking a ride that thrills you, or just getting beat up by the wave. You get to choose that. You say, everybody's choosing that.
I'll use the 17 seconds of Esther's.
Yeah, that's really good. You'll like that.
Yep, I'll use that. Thank you.
Yes. What just happened was perhaps the most meaningful, beneficial practical experience of today's gathering, because it demonstrated what we want you to take away from this most, which is I can control the direction of my conversation. I can talk on purpose. I can think on purpose. I can choose something that feels not good, or I can choose something that feels good. That's really where it's all at, isn't it?